understand the critters. So I'd love to meet you. Have a good day. All right, Tom Dorrance was a family friend. He was my hero, and he helped my mother out a lot. And I always wanted to work with Tom Dorrance. I thought I could ride anything with hair, and I wanted to learn his magic. And I figured I'd be the best thing in the world if I did. Well, I was working for a rodeo company about the time I was 18, and I kept calling Tom and saying, "Hey Tom, can we get together and work some horses?" And he'd say, "Sure." So we'd set up a date, and he'd say, "Just call me before you come." And now Tom was an elderly man at that time, and he's the only man I've ever met that has no ego. Never did. And so I'd wait till that day comes, and I'd load up a bunch of horses that had never been touched. And I'd call Tom and say, "Okay, I'm on my way." And he'd say, "Never mind, I don't want to work with you today." And he'd hang up the phone. And I would get mad. Oh, I'd get mad. And I'd call back, and he wouldn't answer. So finally one day, this went on and on. One day I called him and said, "Okay, I'm on my way." I had 9 Mustangs in the trailer. I was ready to go down. And they'd never been touched. And I was going to stay there for a week. And I took time off of work and everything. And I picked up the phone and said, "Okay, Tom, I'm on my way." And he says, "I don't want to work with you today." And I go, "Don't you hang up on me." And I kind of let him have it, and wanted to know why he wouldn't work with me. And he said, "That's why." And he hung up the phone. So I chewed on that for a while. About 3 or 4 months. And then I called him back and I said, "Tom, I understand what you were trying to say to me. You were trying to tell me I'm a hothead. And you're right. I am." I said, "But I've been working on that." And I said, "I've calmed down a bunch, and I understand what you were saying. I've slowed down." I said, now will you work with me?" And he said, "Now I don't have to." He says, "You have all the answers if you just ask the animals." He said, "But I will tell you this. When you think you're going slow enough, go slower." And that was the words he said to me. He says, "You'll be fine." And so that was my Tom Dorrance story, and that's why Tom would never work with me. Tom always give you a riddle. He'd never give you an answer. And so my only problem was me. That was it. I wasn't afraid of anything. I'd ride anything. And he knew it. And he knew I was cocky. And so he just had to slow me down. So that's when my mind really opened to the things that I'm doing now. And I learned it wasn't all about Josh. It was about the animals and the people I could help. And that's why I went the direction that I did. So that's how Tom Dorrance helped out Josh Foster. And that's the story of us.